Yesterday, I talked a bit about my general impressions for Hogwarts Legacy, the things I like, the things that I think they could work on or people might be disappointed in. But one of the things I didn't really touch upon is character creation. And this video, I want to go through the character creator on Hogwarts Legacy because it's one of the things I think is absolutely outstanding in this game. First of all, before we get into Hogwarts Legacy's character creator itself, I do want to say that character creation remains one of those things that I think more and more games are adding to it because, frankly, people like to make their own character. They like to play a version of themselves or some fantasy character that they've made up in their head, or maybe they just want to make a celebrity character and play that character or lookalike or some crazy character. It remains to be one of the features that more and more games are adding and more games are getting knocked for not having. There are, of course, exceptions to this if you take a look at games like The Witcher, or if you look at something like Devil May Cry, where you're playing sort of a power fantasy character, a character that's already really good and fun to play. I think people still can really enjoy that, but I bet you there are some people out there that are playing those games that wish, maybe I wish I could make a character that plays more like me or feels more like me, or however they want, and I don't think it's something that those games couldn't benefit from in the future. Even if it's just to give players the option to make their own character versus play as a fixed one. This is something I actually really love about Larian Studios and how they've handled this aspect. They have fixed characters that you can choose and have their own storylines and quests, but then they give you the option to create your character. And I feel like that's really the best of both worlds. Giving you the option to play a character that's already developed and set up for you, or giving the option to have complete freedom in the way you make your character. So jumping into Hogwarts Legacy, the first thing you're going to notice when you go to character creation is that you sort of have like a preset that you're going to pick from. And this is going to allow you to kind of get started on your character. You're kind of going to get the rough idea of how your character is going to look, whether you're male or female, how your skin color looks, how long your hair is, what color your hair is, etc. It's going to give you like a place to start from. That way you don't have to like try and edit from complete scratch. Once you've made a selection, you're going to get to alter the face shape of your character's preset. So now you're going to get to tweak that face to look how you want. There are about 15 selections to choose from here, which is quite a bit considering that there are different presets. And then you're going to get to select your skin color so you can edit that exactly how you want to further define your character. From there, you're going to get to choose your hairstyle, what exactly you want your hair to look like to match your face, whether you want long or short hair or wavy hair or whatever kind of hair you want, you're going to select from here. There are a good number of options, in my opinion, in terms of hairstyles. It's not the most I've ever seen, but it's certainly not bad. And you can obviously adjust your hair color as well to whatever color that you want. And from here, you're going to get to adjust your complexion to kind of give you more detail on the skin of your character, adjust freckles and moles and things like that, blemishes on the skin itself to kind of tailor it to your liking. And then you're going to get to add scars or markings. You can add facial markings or add scars. I feel like this is something that maybe dark wizards will add more than, light wizards, for instance. Like I could see a dark wizard having like a scar across his eye or something looking kind of sinister. You're going to get to adjust some things here as well. And again, there isn't the most I've ever seen in this aspect, but the fact that they're there is great, allowing you to tailor your character a little bit more. And from there, you're going to move on to eye color and eyebrow color. So you can adjust your eyebrow color, what color you want your eyes to be, and the shape of your eyebrows. I feel like that's a really good thing they did here. Eyebrows kind of dictate the mood of your character. You can see a lot about a character's mood based on the way their eyebrows are pointing, whether they're pointed down or they're pointed up. You can kind of tell whether they're angry or they're having a question. And this can kind of make your character look a little bit more happy or sad, so it's really up to you how you want to adjust this, and there are a good amount of eyebrow options in my opinion. And then lastly, at the end, you're going to be able to choose a voice for your character. There's only a couple options for voices, but then you can adjust the pitch of that in order to make it higher or lower. So that's not tremendous in my opinion. Like having at least 3 or 4 voice options would have been great, but the fact you can adjust pitch kind of makes it more than 1 or 2 voices, which is a nice little sort of cheat to add more voices to the game. But I would have liked to see more here. And then lastly, you're going to get to pick the difficulty of the game, name your character, first and last name, and then choose whether you're going to live in the Witch or Wizard dormitories. So those are some more options for you. So all in all, the character creation is good, but not great. It's certainly better than I've seen in some games. It's not as good as I've seen in others. I think to this day, probably like Neo's character creator is probably one of the best I've ever seen. This isn't nearly as good as that, but it's pretty decent in my opinion. I feel like most people are going to be able to create a character that feels like them or feels like the character that they're trying to get, but there isn't like so much customization. You're going to have like MMO levels of customization, if you get what I mean. So what do you guys think about character creation for this video? Are you happy that it's included in the game, that you're not picking from like set protagonist or a set protagonist? I know Forspoken, for instance, which just came out today, has a set protagonist. I feel like this is something that's really hurting that game, that players couldn't make the character that they want feel like this is something that's really going to help Hogwarts Legacy, and it's just going to make it more fun for each player playing. Stay tuned because we're going to have more Harry Potter content. I think we're going to be moving next into talking about the houses themselves, who might play what, why you might play certain houses in this game. I'll give you my opinion on which house I'm going to play. We'll have a whole bunch of discussion about that. So I'll see you guys again in the next video.